Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Paul Adom Otchere's dirty propaganda for Boahene falls flat. Wow. Paul Adom Otchere's dirty propaganda for Boahene falls flat. My brother, my sister, it looks like there's a deliberate attempt to muddy the work of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice by some political miscreants. And it hurts. This is the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine. He's a Stanford lawyer, Connecticut, United States of America, University of Ghana. He's a learned fellow. Now, Oral did his work, brought a lot of names and accusations and allegations together, and presented to this man to sit on the thing and also prosecute. He took time to go through it and realized that some of them were not truly hitting the right nail on the head. As the Attorney General, it is his duty to sit back and make sure that these things are sorted out. Pressure. You are delaying. We need to see things happening. Even when he presents the case to be prosecuted, sometimes the courts even delay. Until now, that the Chief Justice himself has decided that there should be some speedy courts on the advice or the suggestion of the President, John Dramani Mahama. So now, we have Justice Francis Apangabono Achibunga as one of the lawyers who replaced the original ones who were sitting on some of these cases. My brother, my sister, this is Dominic Akuritinga Ayine. He is the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice of Ghana. Under him is the EOCO, Economic and Organized Crime Office, and is headed by Raymond Archer, Capo di Tutti Capi. This is the guy. He trained as a journalist. And right after that, he went into intelligence. Went to so many different schools around the world, England, America, and beyond. And his dossier is very rich. This is the guy. The president, in his State of the Nation address, made it clear that over 600 million Ghana cedis got recouped and swept back into the coffers of Ghana from miscreants, people who are stolen from the people of Ghana, all by the work of the EOCO, led by this guy here, a journalist who became a security expert, an intelligence guru. Since EOCO was founded, from the days as SFO, Serious Fraud Office, they have never been able to have this magnitude of achievement. This guy. But instead of having people encourage the office and even the office of the Attorney General, under which EOCO is, the politicians are busy talking. It started with Captain Smart, finding faults with almost everything that this guy did, and the Attorney General. Then I realized that Paul Adom Otchere was also getting very interested in this. And interestingly, Akuritinga Ayine taught Paul Adom Otchere in school. The rest of the story will keep for a rainy day like this. My brother, my sister, this is a gentleman that I respect. Right now, he's a communications officer of the NPP. I don't have any problem with that. Recently, he went into some very serious arguments with veteran journalist Kwesi Pratt. But he has his show on TV. And it seems that show is a propaganda tool for the NPP. And unfortunately, it used not to be like that. But it became that. And I think it's lost a lot of eyeballs because of that. I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. I may be wrong. This is Paul Adom Otchere, a very beautiful guy. He trained as a lawyer. And then he went into journalism. He's won a lot of awards in the field of journalism, even though not a trained journalist. Let me go straight into action. Paul Adom Otchere on his show, Good Evening Ghana, a very beautiful show that I used to love. And I think I still love to some extent. If the propaganda is put aside, you can do propaganda. But when it hinges on the integrity of the nation, patriotism, and what have you, then you are a sellout. If you see that this thing that these people are doing is destroying the integrity of the nation, it's going to have a very big toll on the taxpayer and the economy of the nation. And you still do propaganda with this so people can go free. You are a sellout. My brother, a man who will aid a thief to run away is himself a thief. True or false? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Now, I'm going to play you 2 videos from his show with all love and respect. The very first one, he was taking a certain news item from Joy FM. And he was talking about what happened in court when Boahene went there and how a prosecution witness came out and made it clear to the courts that Boahene had not stolen any money. He started off, my brother, my sister, by looking at that piece from Joy. Now let us all look at it and come together as patriotic Ghanaians and decipher what a trained lawyer said. Watch this.
Listen to Joy FM's report of the matter that happened in court. Fresh allegations, fresh revelations, it says, emerged in court today during the cross-examination of the prosecution's second witness and head of the finance at the National Signals Bureau, Ruby Edith Adumwa, as the trial involving Kwabena Boahene and others continued. Now, you have to understand, viewers, that the said Ruby Adumwa is a director of finance at the National Signals Bureau. She is a witness for the prosecution. The prosecution have brought her to court so that hopefully she will make their case for them, or she will support the case that they are making. The case they are making is that Kwabena Boahene, together with his wife, siphoned 49 million Ghana cedis that belongs to the state, and that's why they are being prosecuted. Here is their prosecution witness who is coming to tell us how Kwabena Boahene siphoned 49 million together with his wife. Listen to what she says. This is what she says. The witness told the court that in her capacity as the head of finance within the national security setup, she is not aware of any theft or missing 49.1 million. The witness, the director of finance, under whose auspices all the financial transactions go, she is saying to the court, as a prosecution witness, that's me, I'm not aware that any money has been stolen. Let's go on. She further stated that she has not reported any such financial loss to her superiors, the Attorney General, Iyoko, and Auditor General, or the police. According to her, it would have been her responsibility to flag any such irregularity if it had occurred. She also indicated that there has been no complaint, management query, or adverse findings from the National Security Establishment regarding any missing 49.1 million. Her testimony adds a new dimension to earlier proceedings where she disclosed that Boahene was compelled by financial constraints within the national security apparatus to arrange and pre-finance payment to suppliers. Under cross-examination by Defense Counsel Samuel Otchere, she explained that the institution was at one point left with a balance of just 11,000 cedis, prompting measures to address obligations with Ability Computers and Software Industries Limited of Israel. Boahene, who is standing trial alongside his wife Angela Boahene, faces multiple charges including causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, and stealing in connection with an alleged 49.1 million cybersecurity contract scandal. Speaking to the media after the proceedings, Defense Counsel Samuel Otchere maintained that the prosecution's witness is being factual and that nothing can change the evidence presented. So far, so very good. The prosecution's witness is just being factual, and there's no way you can improve upon the facts that are before the court. There's nothing we have put across that is not from the prosecution itself. If your adversary is admitting your facts, then the conclusion is yours, he said. The developments in court appear to contrast with earlier claims by the Attorney General Dominic Ayeni, who alleged that Boahene transferred 49.1 million from a Bureau of National Communications account into a private company account linked to himself and his wife. However, previous court proceedings reveal that the funds in question were disbursed through checks signed by the National Security Coordinator and drawn from the coordinator's account NSC at Fidelity Bank for special operations. The defense argues that this undermines claims that the accused acted unilaterally. The case has been adjourned to the 9th of April as cross-examination continues. That's the Joy FM reports, which says that what is coming out is showing a clear contradiction between the facts that have been delivered to the court and the press conference that was run by Dominic Ayeni, the Attorney General. I am waiting for Dominic Ayeni to call another press conference. I understand that Felix Kwatsu is with the president around the country. I'm sure that when he's back, he will call Dominic Ayeni to hold another press conference so that media can ask him these questions. That, Mr. Attorney General, you said the guy has stolen. Your witness in court said the guy has not stolen and that she's not.
You know how I feel at this point? Very embarrassed for an educated guy like Paul to stoop this low. It's embarrassing. Paul, why? He has stooped so low below kindergarten level. I am shocked. Is this what politics can make people do? So when you are doing politics, you have no common sense anymore. And Paul and his colleagues call each other learned colleagues. That's how lawyers call themselves. Is this the studiousness that they have? Now let's get into action. I am embarrassed by this report from Joy. Joy, I don't want to say what I want to say. But if this is coming from you, it's a shame. Who wrote that story? Where are the editors that we used to have there? Is this a report from Joy? What a shame. Or did you also get that cake from those thieves? Jesus have mercy. Even a kindergarten child should be able to decipher this. The lady goes to court. She's a prosecution witness. She was the head of finance. This lady here, my brother, Dominic Ayeni said, even if the boss of Kwabena Boahene were alive, he would arrest him for allegedly planting his signature on some dubious documents. But he's dead and gone. Anybody can fake his signature. And that is what they are trying to prove right now. Head of finance comes to court. She was also arrested. And she decided that she would be a prosecution witness. It is accepted. Right? in the echelons of the law and legal practice. Okay? So she said she would be a prosecution witness. Now she gets to court and Otchere asks, okay, tell us, has Boahene stolen any money that you know of? Listen to the question, paraphrased. She said, no, I do not know of any money that Boahene has stolen. Number two, if I did know this, I would flag it and report him to my superiors. And this is what Paul is saying. And Dominic Ayine, and you, and I'm waiting for a press conference. I'm waiting for a press conference. You have to come and joy of all credible sources would say that it is in direct, whatever, with what Dominic Akuritinga Ayine said. My brother, Boahene, according to the prosecution, is a smart thief. Nobody comes to your house to steal and tells you I'm coming to steal unless they are armed robbers. He used the wires, tricked the state, and diverted money that should have gone into the original BNC account, cloned the account and pushed it into his own account. How would the finance person know? He has tricked the whole system. The money is behaving like it's going into that account, but it is coming into his account. And it's been proven beyond all doubt, at least by what we are seeing, that Boahene went into the account and started to take money out of the stolen money, allegedly, blowing that on so many different personal things. My brother, my sister, and people still sit on radio and TV and say they don't understand that the woman said, oh, you know what? Me, I'm not aware. How can she be aware? She's the head of finance. She's sitting down there. Look, national security is one of the most well-financed outfits in Ghana. And today, somebody has done a great job and has been able to see that the BNC account, a certain crook, changed it into B.N.C and tricked the whole system and wired it into his own personal account and was blowing it on prostitutes, blowing it on luxuries and all that. Somebody sits on TV and says that once the finance person says that, oh, I didn't know whether he stole or not, does it mean that he didn't steal? If somebody says, I'm not aware that he has stolen anything, has the person said he hasn't stolen? What kind of law graduates do we have these days? If I look at somebody like Paul and his law background, I am ashamed to even want to go and study law. Honestly. Hey, look, a kindergarten child should be able to understand that the fact that I said, I don't know whether you have eaten or not, does not mean you haven't eaten. True or false? Simple kindergarten logic. Menim se wo ska anase unim ska. Menim se wo wi ska anase wan wi ska. E kire se wan wi ska. Which language is that? Hebrew or gibberish? And this is what Joy has also gone to write that is in direct contrast with what Akuritinga Ayine said. What did Akuritinga Ayine say? Should the finance person know everything? The man is using trickery, as our tree people would say. Trickery. He has used that to maneuver his way into the account instead of making the court sit on the thing and follow the thing to the letter, support the court to do their work. Of course, you can run commentary just as we run here, but be sensible. You are supposed to be a lawyer, okay? You are a lawyer. Finance person says, me, I'm not aware whether he has stolen or not. And Paul says, it contrasts what the man said. And listen to what Otchere also said. First, watch his countenance. Watch his face. Watch this.
Prosecution witness is just being factual. There's no way you can improve upon the facts that I would have. And there's nothing that we put across which is not from the prosecution, itself. So this is what we are doing. And I don't want to talk about the legal implication, but if your adversary is admitting, your facts, the conclusion is yours. I don't want to talk about it. But we are not too concerned about this prosecution witness for one good measure, that she can't run away from the facts. We are waiting for Mr. Cromwell, the investigator, who will come and explain how he got into the national security space. I hold the view that Cromwell's day will be the best day in court because of the fact that he become the conveyor belt of Yoko. And there's nothing that he's saying that he knows anything about. But so far, so very good.
So far, so very good. That's a lawyer talking. And if you look at his countenance, you realize that he's the most confused lawyer on earth right now. That's what it is. When you are faced with hard facts, it's clear how Boahene blew the money. The judge is interested in knowing, did you transfer money into your account? Did it finally get into your account? How did it get into your account? Did you blow the money from your account? That's all we are interested in. The prosecution has put it on the table. The money found its way into this guy's account. Okay? And this was how he blew the money. Date, time, date, time, date, time. How he went into the account day in, day out. What he used the money for. And who took the money. Including Rashida and all those people. I met Boahene. And he tried to convince me that he was being witch-hunted. And I believed him at first. Later on, when I got into the whole thing, and I saw that, no, sir. The way the prosecution put it, this guy is a dangerous criminal. Dangerous criminal, as told to us by the prosecution. Hey, this guy, I will not reveal everything he told me. Because I want to say that it was private. Privilege. I leave it there. My brother, he is a very smart guy. Me with all my smartness, when I sat down with Boahene for just about 10 minutes of talking, I felt that he was being witch-hunted. Till we went into the facts. I had to run back to prosecutors and say, what is happening? This is the information I got, this is the information that I got. Now they had to open everything up clearly. And I went into every item. This guy, very dangerous guy. And I'm sure his lawyer knows. That's why all the churches are refusing him. From Wingham, Assemblies of God, all the way through, nobody wants to be associated with him. Business partners are running away from him because they have seen his dubiousness. By virtue of the fact that he probably has given one or two people some stolen money. They come and sit on tea. Yeah. My brother, my sister, I'm going to say something. If this guy doesn't go to jail, I will leave this country. Remember I said that about Boahene. If this guy is not convicted, BlackRasta, I will leave this country until this government is out. Wallahi. I said it about Boahene, and many were those who said, oh, black, blah, blah, blah. When the elections were coming, I was in Jamaica. I'd already booked a place. I was in some other places. I was ready to move. That is a man. When you say something, keep it, hold on to it. I know what I've seen. It's left with the lawyers, the judges. Let them go and do whatever. There's nothing that can save this guy. Not Paul Adom Otchere, not, what's the guy's name? Captain Smart. Captain who? Look, he can blow his money on anybody. The last bit of the stolen money. On anybody and everybody. Nothing would save this guy. This is judgment day. And I tell you that. If this guy doesn't get convicted, me, BlackRasta, I will leave this guy, and I'm putting it on record. I will leave. And the reasons are clear. How can lawyers come and sit on TV and be behaving like kindergarten ducklings? Yes, this is the finance, what of who, and because she said she didn't know, that meant that, oh, did you study logic in school? Did you study logic in school? Simple logic. Otchere himself is talking and he's sweating, and you are bold enough to sit on TV and say, you are waiting. And you know why? It's hatred for one man. Raymond Otchere. That's it. Can I prove it? Should I prove it? Can I prove it? Or I should let it go? Can I prove it? They feel like they are colleagues of this guy. And all of a sudden he has risen to a certain point. From nowhere. Oh, we're all journalists, you know. And then all of a sudden, this guy has become a couple. No, sir. We won't let it happen. Watch this.
Do you know what has happened to Dominic Aini? As a lawyer, who is a seasoned lawyer like him, who has been teaching law for many years, he was listening to a journalist. How can a journalist, I mean, we journalists, we are whistleblowers. The work of a journalist is essentially whistleblowing. The whistle that we blow, some of it may be correct, some may not be correct. Eventually, those that are correct, the state benefits. So journalists are whistleblowers. Journalists don't take a tooth comb and go through a process to determine what is actionable and what is not actionable. When we are doing our stories, we don't check whether this is a violation of Act 29 or that the procedures have been violated. That's not our call. Our call is to throw the light on whatever is happening, to point people to something may be happening here so that authorities can act. But if you are a prosecutor, an important one like the Attorney General, and your ears are given to a journalist to tell you the case you are making, then you will be holding press conferences like that and be talking about things that are not even actionable.
So much hatred. And he's talking about Raymond Otchere, a trained journalist who became the youngest, best journalist in the whole of Africa or the subcontinent. My brother, how can journalists be demeaned like that? We have seen Manasseh Azure as a journalist go into proof combing, comb the whole area, and come up with the creme de la creme of the facts. And we saw people jailed because of his work. We have seen Anas Armiyaw Anas do his bit. We have seen investigative journalists run the whole continent, time after time, in country after country, to the point that they were targeted by top-notch politicians who shot and killed them. Do we all remember Zongo of Burkina Faso? He was shot and killed in cold blood. Who was he? He was an investigative journalist. Ahmed Swale, why did they kill him? Was it because he stole an ice cream? They shot and killed him because he was an investigative journalist. My brother, the police work hand in hand with journalists. Most of the time, the journalists even see it first before the police. How can you demean your former lecturer, Akuritinga Ayine, to the point that he is only listening to a journalist? Why? Because of politics or sheer hatred. Akuritinga Ayini. All of the man who taught you in law school. The rest of the story will keep for a rainy day like today. No, Paul, we have a good relationship, but don't be infantile. You are joking. It's sad. Paul was a great guy. You understand? Everybody was watching Paul. We all loved him. To go on Paul's show, you would shiver because he would dig deep and do some beautiful things. Is it the same today? How many people have time to watch Paul? Maybe it's only some of us who can tell you this hard stuff. How many people? It's sad. When you play to the political gallery, that is where you would end. You would end up as a party communicator. Like Abronye and the rest. They will toss you around to go and bring an encyclopedia of insults. Because in Ghana, party communication is all about insults. It's a shame. No, I'm not aware whether he has stolen money or not. If I did know this, I would have been the first person to report. Oh, I say Odiwa in Riashi. And say Dominic Akuritinga Ayini. Asama Okane in Tronkwa. And Tisene Adia Nabano. And say assembling. Who taught you in school? Your child there was school. Now your friend is saying you are a disgrace to education. It's a shame. I'll leave it here. All in all, please put it on record. If this guy escapes conviction, with all respect to the courts, I will leave this country. But who am I at all? I will leave it in protest. I'm done. It's the black part.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.